Beyonce is so incredible. I cannot describe it. I have just came back from the Cowboy Carter Beyonce show. I still have my wristbands on. I also love that concerts now do these like light up wristbands. But then they ask for them back at the end of the show, and I'm not taking this off. I'm sorry, those tickets are so expensive that I'm keeping as much as what I can. I got last minute Beyonce tickets today. I'm seeing her in London with my mum in a couple days, and I didn't even know that she was performing in New Jersey, and I'm in New York right now because I have a couple days off before I finish up my own tour, and I was like, I wonder if there's any last minute tickets, and there was, and I go on Ticketmaster and I get, I think it's called Club Hoedown ticket, which was like in the pit, like I genuinely was like, I finna be in the pit, and it was a very last minute decision. I think I bought them at like 4 p.m. and then I left for the venue like 2 hours later. And I didn't know if I was going to love the ticket or not because, it was quite expensive, but it was also in the pit. But then would they have oversold the pit? Like, would people be taller than me? All these different things, because I do not do standing at concerts. I do not do festivals. I don't go to standing sections. I need to, I need to be in a seat. So this was a little bit risky for me, and I went, and I cannot describe how throughout the entire show I've never had so much room to move around, and there was never any bad view. The further back I went in the pit, the more I could actually see, and then if I just decided to get closer, I would get closer to Beyonce. But I cannot believe that like Beyonce was right in front of me tonight. Like right in front of me. I cannot believe it. Cowboy Carter, her, album that came out, her country album, I genuinely believe is one of her strongest works. I connected with it since it came out, and I know everyone loves Renaissance, and I love Renaissance, but I would arguably put Cowboy Carter above Renaissance. So I know that's very, very, very unpopular, but this album means a lot to me. And it came out whenever I was going through a crazy situationship, like one that nearly broke me. And so it was interesting, like reconnecting with the music live, and, a lot of memories coming back to me tonight, but it was ultimately just all so crazy to be in front of her. But when I was at the concert, one of the things that I really picked up on was how nice the Beehive, Beyonce's fans, are. I've been to a lot of concerts. I've experienced a lot of fandoms. I've experienced a lot of crowds at shows, and some of them can be the worst in the entire world. Like, I don't want to start naming names right now because I don't want to get it wrong. But I can confidently say that the Beehive, the Beyonce fans, were the most supportive, uplifting, fun to be around, respectful crowd. I had no issues in the pit, which you would normally have pushing, shoving. Everyone was great. Everyone, I can't get over it. And so then I started thinking on my way home. I literally just got home. A lot of my friends who were at the show have gone out to an after party in New Jersey, but I just came home because I really wanted to talk to all of you about kind of concerts and concert etiquette and why I believe concert culture is dying, which is really crazy to, have this conversation like right after coming back from an incredible concert. But it started sparking this conversation in me. We have, Katy Perry on tour right now, and it seems every day there's, a hate tweet about venues not selling out or the show. And I think we're seeing this a lot where people are announcing tours and they're not selling well. And people are asking, like, why are people not going to concerts anymore? Like, why do people, all these different things. So I wanted to talk about it, and I wanted to basically explain why I believe that concert culture is dying, has died, or is just never going to be what it ever was. And it's interesting because when you think back on concert culture, it's always been, about, intensity with like fans being able to go, right? And it used to be an opportunity for a lot of people to go see an artist, because prices were so much cheaper and the artist was so much more accessible. Whereas now artists are incredibly unaccessible and things are so expensive that I really started to think that wow, people, really dress up at concerts tonight. I saw it tonight with, Beyonce, with everyone in the cowboy hats and the denim outfits, and it was incredible. And like when I go to Lady Gaga tours, people are in Lady Gaga cosplay, and even just as simple as like wearing a color that reflects the album. Like when I went to Charlie XCX's tour and it was the Brat tour, everyone wearing that shade of green. Like people really dress up and make an effort for concerts tonight. And I started to think, has it always been this way? And I do believe that concerts used to be a lot more casual because it was a lot more easier to go to concerts. Whereas now, you know, we make a big, big, big deal about going to a concert because it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money now. We are dealing with the evil Ticketmaster, dynamic pricing. Tickets are so fucking expensive for shows. And it's why, all these people who are on tour right now are not selling out, or, are having empty venues, arenas, specifically stadiums. And then I see people having hate tweets about them. And I'm like, do people not realize how expensive the tickets are? Like, this is a big thing with like Katy Perry right now, which is people are clowning on like her not selling out sections of her shows. And then I go onto Ticketmaster to look at how much tickets are for Katy Perry in those sections, and they're between $300 to $700 for one ticket. So of course venues are not selling out, but because people are spending so much more money for this experience, I think it's something then that you make a bigger deal about and a bigger occasion out of, because you want to go all out. It's rare to go to concerts now because of how expensive it is, which is really fucking sad, because at the end of the day, there is just so many giants that have kind of entered the touring industry that have made it so evil for the fan, and exploitative. And again, Ticketmaster is just so fucking evil. Like, Ticketmaster will offer, a ticket for like my Beyonce ticket today was $600. It was in the VIP pit, but it wasn't the VIP package. It was really weird. Like, they were allowing me in the VIP pit, but they weren't going to give me any of the free stuff that VIP tickets get. But the price was the same as what people were spending on the VIP ticket. It was very weird. So it was just like, oh, they're changing their rules to fit more people in the pit, but don't have enough merch to give them and don't want to spend the money on them. So I'm like, oh my God, greedy as hell. So my ticket was $600, and like $200 of that was added Ticketmaster fees, which is just really crazy to me. Like, I cannot believe that Ticketmaster will add on an extra like $100 fucking dollars to the ticket that I'm buying, which then, puts up the ticket price so much. And then artists are putting their prices up, their management are putting their prices up, and it's a fucking month's rent to go to a show nowadays, right? And whether that is because of the artist or not is not as simple as that, because if the artist raises the prices, or the prices, sorry, then Ticketmaster would have done it first, that they are needing to respond to it and make more money. If Ticketmaster are making more money, I'm not going to perform for you and you're making more money than me, which is ironic because that's literally happening on the X1 tour right now with them. But anyways, I just thought about that. And then there's a lot of other things as well within concert culture that I believe has changed within the last couple of years. So let's dive into the first thing that really stands out to me is there is no real order at concerts anymore. Like, we have people feeling so entitled now to get an artist reaction response that they're willing to, throw things on stage, no manners, speak really loudly when the artist is singing or talking, or generally just be really disrespectful audience member to, security or other fans because you feel very entitled. And I think we live in a very entitled world right now, specifically when it comes to, trying to prove that you're the biggest fan or whatever. And it just kind of really changes the vibe of shows, right? And hold on, I need to take a sip of water. Bear with me. I think between people, just not respecting the artist and not just being respectful of the fact that they're at like an event. And I think a big reason for this as well is, I at the Charlie XCX concert, I've never experienced anything like it. Obviously, the Charlie XCX album is like party girl, party culture, alcohol culture, and can even lean into drug culture, right? 365 bumping that, like literally talking about like cocaine, right? But at the Barclays Center, when I went to the Brat Tour, we're in an arena and the people beside me are lighting up cigarettes. And if we were outdoors, sure, that's fine or whatever like that. And again, I've been to a lot of concerts where, people will just roll up a joint or whatever. But for some reason, like lighting up cigarettes inside of a concert arena feels just so crazy. And everyone around was pissed. And I was pissed as well. And here's the thing. I love a little bit of fun. I love whatever. But like, while I didn't care that I was beside you because I've smoked cigarettes myself. So if it's not like, oh my God, this is the first time I'm getting the fumes of a cigarette. You know what I mean? But there are people in the crowd who, have asthma or literally can't be around smoke or whatever. And you're like, you're changing their experience because you want to light up a cigarette. Like it's crazy. And I know in the past, smoking has been indoors, but like, we don't live in that time right now. And it's just like super disrespectful and shows again, like the lack of kind of care about concert etiquette anymore. And also Charlie XCX a couple fucking years ago, whenever I was in, or was it a couple years ago? It was a couple years ago, yeah. Whenever I saw her in New York as well, in a much smaller venue, like people were literally just doing drugs during the show. And while again, you can do whatever you want, it just changed the vibe of like everyone around, because then everyone was kind of on their high guard about you know what I mean? Like there is literally no concert etiquette anymore as well. And there's a couple other things that I've basically like written down. Again, the main thing is for me is, Ticketmaster is so fucking greedy and comes in with this dynamic pricing based on how much interest. Girl, they're charging us more. And also Ticketmaster is so cheap that they will literally, put tickets available behind the stage. Girl, you're paying $50 and you don't even get to fucking see the act. Or they won't say that there's tires. This happened to me at Taylor Swift. I spent like $1,000 on a Taylor Swift ticket. I go, and there's a huge fucking VIP tent in front of me, and I can't see the stage. And I'm like, oh, that wasn't on the ticket. Like, it's so greedy. Like, these seats areas should not be available to be sold, in my opinion. So I do believe that Ticketmaster dynamic pricing, also like the amount of fucking pre-sales and all this bullshit is so fucking psychotic. I can't deal with it. What do you mean? There's like a Verizon pre-sale, there's an artist pre-sale, there's a meet and greet pre-sale, there's a fan club pre-sale, I'm like, girl, just put it on fucking general release. Like, it's so annoying. Like, I really, really, really don't look at pre-sales as an easier opportunity to get tickets. If anything, I think the demand from pre-sales makes Ticketmaster put the prices up and even more. So you will never catch me in a pre-sale because I don't give a fuck. And also, this full like ability to sell out a show on pre-sale is crazy as well. It's just not, these events aren't as accessible as what they once were, which makes it a bigger deal for us, which is crazy because why can't we just go and enjoy music? Dynamic pricing as well. And also, at a certain stage, the Eras Tour comes to mind. Going to as many shows as possible was seen as like this elitist, thing. And it was kind of like this class, like kind of like looking at like class, like, like divide, where it was like really weird that like, because tickets are so expensive, you have someone saving up or, putting themselves in debt to go once. And then it's becoming a culture to kind of brag about as many shows you can go to, because that proves that you're more of a fan, when it's just, oh, I'm sure every fan would go as many times as what you do, but they can't afford it because people like you buy tickets that are that expensive. And that's what, keeps the system going. That really bothers me. That about the Eras Tour really, really, really bothered me. And I don't care about going to a concert multiple times because I've done that night after night after night. But I think the way that it was being handled specifically with Swifties during the Eras Tour really fucking bothered me. Really fucking bothered me. So I think, yeah, dynamic pricing, Ticketmaster, pre-sales, the fucking class divide that was kind of going on. I think it's a big reason why kind of concert the vibe of it has changed. Also, I do want to acknowledge here phone culture, but again, people say you'll never watch that video back. You know, why are you spending your time recording at a concert when you could just be watching? Also, I do believe that we as people can multitask. But I just want to, like, in defense of recording at shows, right? I watch back my concert videos more than anything in the entire world. When I'm on a plane, I'm watching every single concert video I've ever taken. Oh, I just got an email. Oh, just sold another ticket to my New York show. I got fully distracted there. Oh, defending phones. I watched those motherfuckers back. And I believe that a lot of people who record at shows will watch it back. And also, tickets are so fucking expensive, allow people to do what they want to do. But the problem with phones at shows is, from an artist standpoint, if you're performing to a sea of phones, there's then a disconnect where the performance isn't as authentic as what concerts used to be. Like, I watch back, and I'm so guilty of doing it. I recorded so much of Beyonce tonight because, of course, Beyonce's in front of me, and I want to share that, and I want to watch that back, and I want to remember that moment. But I often find myself going and watching old concert DVDs and just seeing that there are no phones in the crowd. Maybe there's a digital camera, but it's just pure connection with the artist. And as someone who now, has done shows that aren't singing shows, but that is very crowd reactions, it makes or breaks how you feel about a performance as well, if you're having a connect with your crowd. So I do believe that I'm guilty of the phones thing. I don't think it'll ever change. But it is unfortunate as to what it probably does for the artist. And yeah, I believe that that's a big thing as well. But you'll always have people harping on about the phones, so I don't want to harp on too much about it. Also, one thing about concert culture that I think has actually been really interesting to watch is live streaming culture. Oh, people are screaming in the street. Hello? Live streaming culture, really with the Eras tour, people would live stream every single night, and hundreds of thousands of people would tune into live streams of concerts day in, day out. They would literally, it's almost as if they are going to every single show, and that provides such a demand for concerts, which is really interesting, but it also creates for a chunk of people not wanting to see it because there's no aspect of surprise anymore. But it's not all bad, because I do believe that live stream culture sells more tickets ultimately for concerts and artists in the long run, because it creates a community. It creates a routine of watching the same performance, getting used to it, being a part of something. People love to be a part of something. So yeah, that has been really interesting to watch unfold as well. Now, one of the other ones that I wanted to talk about was artist schedules have really kind of changed the culture, I think, as well, of performance and connection for artists, because we are in a time where people aren't buying physical media anymore as much as what they once did. So artists have to make money for the tour companies or their agencies or whatever by doing concerts. So, they're being booked in many venues, many countries, many cities, Vegas residencies on top of that. There is such a demand for the artists to make money back touring that they're being overworked. And then we're seeing huge spikes in entire tours being canceled by the promoters, or tours being rescheduled, or issues with, the artists getting really sick because these artists are being overworked, which then again is just how greedy the industry has become. It is crazy to look back and be like, oh, people were able to go to Madonna for $5. And, now a Madonna ticket would be in the thousands or in the hundreds. And it's just really, really, really interesting. So again, I really had to think about that when I was at Beyonce today, because I now have this kind of fear when I go into concerts, as much as I love going to them, of what is the crowd going to be like? And again, I think I was in the greatest crowd of Beyonce tonight, genuinely the nicest people, and just really, really, really fun vibe. But again, everything considered, I do believe that concert culture is dying, and I cannot see the industry going on for very long like this, because we're literally about to be in a recession, and money is tanking, and people aren't making as much money, and people are being let off, people are being fired, we're being overtaken by slop AI, which is, taking jobs and stuff. So people aren't having the money that they once used to have. So how can Ticketmaster continue to do this and concert culture be able to go on? It doesn't. That's why we're seeing Katy Perry not selling out shows, Beyonce not selling out shows, Lady Gaga, you know what I mean? Like, how are we expected to have artists sell out stadiums when people can't even afford to go anymore? So that's why I believe the concert culture is dying. And if it continues to go on like this, it will not, live entertainment in concerts will not last very, very, very long. There will be a breaking point when no one can afford to go. And it's sad because it's just about connecting with music. But I had such an incredible time at Beyonce's tonight. What an incredible performer. Like, that Cowboy Carter album, just so, when she did If I Were a Boy, oh, chills. Single ladies, never heard that live before because she didn't do it at Renaissance. And I've never seen her before that. I love concerts. I would be lost without concerts, but I do believe it's dying, and I would love to know your thoughts. And again, Beyonce was incredible. So talk to me down below. Love ya. See you later.